The deal to merge Boeing and Spirit will go before Spirit stockholders next month. While all a formality, it is a critical step. In a year that has brought intense scrutiny on both companies, they want to chart a smoother path forward. Sean logging on what that vote will mean. Sean?
Mike, that vote is scheduled for January 31st. That's according to a filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Boeing is offering stock to buy Spirit at $37.25 per share, totaling $4.7 billion. Spirit's board of directors unanimously recommending approval of this deal.
There's definitely a lot at stake for both companies.
The $8.3 billion merger between Boeing and its supplier Spirit AeroSystems will go before Spirit stockholders in the new year. Boeing is offering to buy Spirit with a stock offer for $37.25 per share, or $4.7 billion. Dr. Larry Straub at Newman University explains it this way.
The Spirit shareholders will exchange their shares of Spirit stock for a Boeing share of stock, and so there's an exchange ratio that's agreed upon.
At the January 31st meeting, Spirit stockholders will vote on a number of items, including the merger agreement and compensation for Spirit's named executive officers based on or otherwise related to the merger.
They're going through that formality, which is basically what it should be. There shouldn't be a lot of excitement at this point.
It comes after a 2024 of considerable turbulence at both companies, starting the year with a door plug blowout on a Boeing plane, leading to increased scrutiny and oversight to address quality and production issues. A machinist union strike at Boeing also impacted production.
Get to where they're not putting out fires anymore. They've just got to get back to the blocking and tackling of just business again, where they can focus on their operations, and it's going to be, complicated reintegrating these companies together.
Boeing and Spirit are planning to finalize the merger by the middle of next year, but there are still additional steps required to complete this merger, including regulatory approval. Spirit also has to complete divestitures of some of its assets, including those associated with Airbus. To approve the merger agreement, it needs a majority of stockholders.